We should go
That's
together.
hard too, man. But you know what? For me personally, you know what? I'm not gonna go me personally. I'm just gonna go from what I believe, right? I guess that's similar things. The College Dropouts number one. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasies number two. Late Registrations number three. Graduations number four. You know what? I'm gonna be honest, man. I listen to Pablo more than Yeezus, and Pablo's number five. Born King with the super chat says back then corporate was with Luda, and the streets was with Tip. PSC had the pool palace on Bankhead lit. Yeah, they did. Um, Willer Weston with the super chat. We appreciate that $20 super chat. He says, "No Mercy is slept on. Welcome to the World is one of Ti's best intros. That is a dope intro." Go ahead, Coop, with your top five. Kanye.
I still think Late Registration is his best piece of work, and I don't
I'm
care
not
what
mad
people say.
about that. I'm not mad about that.
When I when I go to the actual songs, and I'm a song guy. Like when things are close and you got classics, it's like, well, give me the classic album that actually has the most classic songs. I think Late Registration has the most classic songs, and that's why I have Late Registration at number one.
Mm-hmm.
It has Heard Them Say. It has Touch the Sky with Lupe.
I think Gold Digger is probably his
Gold Digger is his
best
seminal
single.
record.
I think it's his
Gold
best
Digger is
single.
his single.
I think
Yeah,
it's his
Gold
best
Digger is
single.
his single. Like when he's winning his Lifetime Achievement Award, the single to Gold Digger is going to play in the background, right?
If somebody dropped from outer space and they told me like, you know, what song
It's easy.
encompasses what Kanye West is, I'm
Yeah,
playing Gold
Gold
Digger.
Digger.
It's
So listen,
everything on there.
Drive Slow is on there.
I like
Roses,
Common's
Roses
portion
is
on there.
on there.
Roses.
Back Home with Common,
Yeah,
or Made It Back Home. Crack Music is on there.
yeah.
We Major with Nas is on there.
Love that
Diamonds
record.
in Sierra Leone
I
with
like the
Jay Z
Diamonds
is on
without
there.
Jay, and I'm not just saying that.
Either way,
Yeah.
hold on. The song "I'll Be Late for That" late is on there. The
Mm-hmm.
joint with Cameron is on there.
Yeah. Great
His
album.
most so if we're actually talking about his most classic records on all of his albums, you cannot go to any of his albums and find more classic Kanye West songs than are on Late Registration. And that's the only reason I have Late Registration number one. I know how My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy plays. I know how The College Dropout feels. I'm a quality guy. The most classic songs are on Late Registration.
Late
Thereby,
registration
Late
is a lot
Registration's
cleaner
number one.
too. You,
Like there are literally like 10 or 11 classic songs on Late Registration. That's the best piece of work. After that, I'm going to go The College Dropout. After that, I'm going My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that, I'm going Graduation. Now, after that, and I hate to say this, I don't like any of that stuff. So give me the impact of 808s.
Mad Max with the super chat. And Mad Max is younger, so I'm interested to hear his take. He says, "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy" at one, "The Life of Pablo" at two, "Late Registration" at three, "Graduation" at four, "College Dropout" at five. That's wild, man.
Mike,
Like same albums as but in totally different orders.
this is okay. So have the conversation about who he means to different generations right quick while I let my dog out upstairs. I got
Yeah,
my
go
dog.
ahead. Reggie with the super chat says, "Mike, what do you guys think about Coast Contra? Have you guys checked out their latest freestyle? I saw somebody sent that to us on According to Hip Hop on DJ Cosmic Kev's Come Up Show. Haven't checked it out yet, but definitely gonna check it out. I think that's very interesting that Life of Pablo is two, and that the College Dropout is five. I think for me, College Dropout being number one, and I think you guys saw it on that Netflix documentary of the footage that Kuda Love had. I just feel like it's one of those albums that it just could never be made again. It was a moment, and it's one of those rare moments where so much stuff aligned, and it had so much soul behind it, passion behind it, and it doesn't. It has those intangibles that we talk about where it's not even a technical thing. And the fact that, he made it under duress. He made it when budgets were gone and he didn't have a budget. He pieced it together. He did things that were unorthodox, that were unproven to work. Not to mention Through the Wire just being one of those records where he literally made the song, the first single, with his mouth wired shut. It's just so many things that can never be redone that are on College Dropout that I have to put at number one. I just feel like it's one of those albums that not only changed the game, it was his entry into the game as well. I don't think any of these other albums he could have entered the game and had that same impact if they would have went first. It's so important. Like, it's not just important to him, it's just important overall, and it has those classic records as well. It does so much that I just think it has to be number one. It can't be duplicated. We never heard a record like a Slow Jam. We didn't. We never heard a record like Through the Wire, and it wasn't because, the technicalities of it. It was just nobody had the balls to make Jesus Walks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. And nobody had the balls to approach rap music in the way that he was approaching it on that album either. We don't care what people say. I mean, that's a statement to start off the album from the jump. And not to mention the collaborations on there. He was pairing people together that we never heard together, never even thought to hear together. I got to give it number one for that, man. And
no,
like
I'm with you. Like
I was saying when you walked away, I think that, even the Netflix Genius documentary.
I could hear you.
Yeah.
No, I could hear you even when I was upstairs because like the front door is like right above where I'm at in the basement. So it's like I could still hear you talking. So I agree with all those things. That's why I was like, if you want to talk about the feel, you want to talk about the moment, you want to talk about the importance. It's just hard. It's hard to line some of that stuff up to the stuff that's on Late Registration song wise when you get into the nuance of things. That's all I'm saying.
It's one of those things, and you're right, and I agree. I think that for a long time, Late Registration was my personal favorite because from a technical standpoint, he was just better. He was just a better artist.
It's just better technically, production, rhyme wise, and beat wise, and structure wise. It's just better, yeah.
I think it's one of those rare moments though when the person got better, but didn't necessarily make the better album.
So this is for the people who love It Was Written more than it was Illmatic.
Right,
I understand them because I love Late Registration more than I love the College Dropout. People are like, but it don't feel like the College Dropout. I'm like, no, but he's better, and the songs are better, and the execution's better. But it's comparable. It's not like it's not close. It's like when I'm saying there's like 10, 11 classic songs on Late Registration, well, there's like 8 or 9 on the College Dropout.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with you in the sense where, he's better, but I don't think this is the same thing as the Illmatic and It Was Written because the songs on Illmatic are just better than the songs on It Was Written. Now, I will agree with you. Those Late Registration songs, but the
reason that the songs on the College Dropout compete are kind of similar to Illmatic because some of the themes are timeless. Exactly. We don't care what people say. All Falls Down.
All Falls Down is better than Heard 'Em Say to me.
Hold on, what?
All Falls Down is better than Heard 'Em Say to me.
Okay, see, we would have to do We Don't Care versus Heard 'Em Say, though.
That's
a draw to me.
I was thinking that maybe you would have to do like Gold Digger versus Slow Jams. I think Gold Digger's the better record, right?
Gold Digger's the better record, yeah.
Mad Max with the super chat says, I just love The Life of Pablo because it's his best production. That's just my personal one. College Dropout has too many skits. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, one only off how people wrote him off and how he put it together. Yeah, I think that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was his moment of saying, you know what, I did 808s and Heartbreaks, but I can make what y'all want me to make, you know what I'm saying, in a whim. He said that. He was like, he made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because that's what people wanted to hear from him, and he was able to do that in spades. He doesn't really love the album. Jay Short says...
Hold on. So I don't love it like that either because there are points of that album where I feel like he could do better, and that is the album. How about this? The help doesn't feel as organic on there. The help feels more necessary to take it to the heights. It's like, no, he needed Raekwon and Cuddy on Gorgeous to take it to those heights.
My disappointments with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy were the fact that I heard the songs that were recorded around those sessions and they didn't make the album. Chain Heavy being one of them.
Chain Heavy.
My
right.
my mama's boyfriend is another one. These are brilliant records that didn't make this album. The Joy I heard during those sessions, and they ended up putting that on Watch the Throne or whatever. Like, he had some crazy records that if they would have been on this album and he would have taken off stuff that towards the end of that album, or like Blame Game and stuff, this would have been flawless. I mean, people already think it is, but I think that I feel differently because I heard the stuff that wasn't on there. Jay Short says, Dark Twisted Fantasy, people still talk about who have the best verses on the best songs on that album. Those features were A+, outside of Jay, who was a B+. Jay did kind of give a B- effort on Monster.
Okay, on Monster. He's not B- on So Appalled.
No. So Appalled. He's Jay-Z.
Everybody's on their A game on So Appalled.
Yeah, he's Jay-Z on So Appalled.
No.
Mad Max says
everybody is who we thought they were on So Appalled.
I think Mad Max changed up his order. He said Late Registration is my second favorite after Life of Pablo. Antlearn with Super Chat says that you can't go wrong with either The College Dropout or Late Registration, but I'll go with The College Dropout for me. Ethan Hill says, Coop, don't say let's have an intelligent debate and act like Eminem wasn't barring him up on Kill Shot. That's just not true.
I didn't say he didn't
What's
bar
next?
him up. They asked me if
Luka
I love
isn't
the
any
record.
good?
I don't love the record. Just because you bar somebody up doesn't mean I love the record.
Listen, Kill Shot was underwhelming, man. Especially since the fact that he made us wait 3 weeks for it. Y'all remember when Rap Devil came out? He did a video for it and everything.
Yeah.
MGK I'm talking about, and everybody's like,
I've been out the chat today. I'm gonna have to jump and attack Mike. Mike is the one that doesn't like.
Yeah, I was the one that said that. But when when Rap Devil came out, had a video for it and everything, and I remember looking on the threads, people was like, yo, man, his career is over. Eminem's about to end him, man. It's a wrap for him. He done messed up now. Okay. Days went by, still waiting. Week went by. They said, man, Eminem's cooking up something, boy. It's about to be crazy. He better watch out for his career. 2 weeks go by. We're like, it might not be coming. And then by the third week, Kill Shot finally comes. It does all these streaming numbers and stuff, but that stuff could be manufactured too. But it's like, yeah, this is all right. And fast forward, MGK is out here with one of the hottest chicks in the game. He's still doing his thing in music. He switched genres a bit, but he doesn't seem like his career is over.
He just
just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he survived, for lack of a better term.
I mean, so even when people bring that up, it's like, well, how do you like your hip hop aesthetic? Like Yellow Wolf did a project with DJ Muggs. We're not talking about him. We're talking about Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about how it's like, well, some of the notoriety still moves the meter because we're talking about MGK and Eminem right now. When Yellow Wolf's the one that dropped the project with Muggs last year, so he's the one that's more in the hip hop sphere. Why are we not talking about Yellow Wolf? You see how the names do kind of run the conversation still?
Yeah. Vanguardian TV with the super
I'm
chat
just devil's
says,
advocate. I'm just providing devil's advocate stuff. I'm not like siding either way.
Vanguardian TV with the super chat says Nas Live now, I guess Nas Live now was a lyrical masterpiece. Also
Live
message
now? On Streets Disciple?
Message to the Feds.
Message to the Feds is
classic.
Here we go with this again.
Okay.
Here we go with this again. Here we go with the delusions again, Mike. Streets Disciple's not like that.
I want to talk about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because I know it really resonates with a certain generation. And I feel like the way that Kanye structured that album, he was opening that door for everybody who was coming next to get that run. From Nicki's verse, I mean, we could even say Pusha T's resurgence as a soloist kind of started there too. With
his start as a soloist. His start as a soloist.
Yeah, straight up. with him being on Runaway, incredible verse, by the way. I think lyrically, when we talk about Runaway and the song and the content on it and the way that they lyrically wrote that and where Pusha took that, I think that was super dope. Not to mention his verse on Soul Paul. So boom, he's
That's
launched
worse.
there. Nicki's launched there. Ross has an epic verse there, and I think his career took a turn after that too. So I could understand the aesthetic, and not to mention Kid Cudi. I can understand people holding that album of a certain era very high because it set a bar high in a whole new decade. Because what was that, 2010? It was the
Yes.
bar setter for the 2010s.
So this album, although I don't consider it to be late registration of the college dropout, this album, as much of any album for its ever, as much as any album for its era, is a tone setter
The
and a pace
visuals,
setter
too. Yeah.
and a trend setter. Let's just stay with the guest appearances right quick. This is Nicki's defining moments and most credible artist has a most credible moment as an MC. As an MC, this is Nicki Minaj's most credible moment is on Monster. This is when people start checking for her as an MC on another level. As in like, oh, no. She's with the big boys. Ross's coming out verses on here on Devil in a Blue Dress. This is when he started getting more respect as an MC.
New Dress, yes.
Devil in a New Dress, sorry. I was thinking about the actual movie. But yes, where he's kind of took the title from, Devil in a New Dress.
Yeah.
Okay? This is also a reminder of what certain people can do. Raekwon on Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z on So Appalled. The coming out party on here, Pusha T's 2 verses on Runaway and on So Appalled.
And Sci-Hi as well.
The best verse on So Appalled.
Coming out party for Sci-Hi too on So Appalled.
I was about to say, Sci-Hi closed up one of the best posse cut records ever, as well as he closed up So Appalled to the level that Big Daddy Kane closed up the symphony. It's like that.
It's memorable.
The performances on here, Mike, are epic.
Yeah.
That's without talking about Ye.
Yeah. That's without talking about a song like Power.
That's without talking about Power.
Yeah. Or the intro.
That's without all of the lights with Rihanna. We ain't brought up Rihanna on all of the lights.
Yeah.
We ain't brought up the intro that Nicki did the intro to, too.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about RZA chanting at the end of So Appalled. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's moment upon moment and song upon song on here. Runaway is a classic.
It is.
Power is a classic. So Appalled, Monster, classic. Gorgeous, classic.
You know what I also love?
How about
I
this?
love Hell of a Life too.
Yeezy Taught Me is part of Black culture. It's not even the name of the fucking song. Yeezy Taught Me.
Chris Rock's part, huh?
Yeah. Is that not part of Black culture?
Yeah.
You don't be seeing Yeezy Taught Me on a hashtag sometime when Ye pop up?
Yeah.
Right. So this album, as much as this is what I mean, classics aren't just about the music. It's about the moment. It's about what you do with the moment. It's about what it means. It's about how it moves it forward. I prefer Good Kid, Mad City, but I'm listening to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy first, and I think it's more important. And I think it's better. I think the highlights are higher. Those are the 2 seminal albums around that time for the era. Mm-hmm. But it's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for all those things that I listed. It's very much, when you talk about the guest appearances on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, it's very Purple Tape-ish, Mike.
I was going to say, you'd be very hard-pressed, especially in like the modern era, to find an album with those impactful guest appearances. Like
Purple Tape-ish. I told you, it's like a modern-day Purple Tape of guest appearances. It's like, well, they got all the artists, and all the artists did their best when they showed up. How often does that happen? Well, it happened on the Purple Tape.
You know, Kanye normally gets the best out of artists.
That's shit.
Yeah.
I'm a Pusha T fan. I'm telling you. Oh, any way you want to slice it, the So Appalled verse is a top 5 to 7 verse. Because he's explaining everything who he is.
That verse is great.
Success is what you make it. Take it how it come. 500,000 20s like a billion where I'm from. An arrogant drug dealer, the legend I become. CNN said I'd be dead by 21. Blackjack, literary devices. Blackjack, I just pulled an ace. You looking at the king in his face. Oh, you want to talk about some entendres and some literary devices?
I love when
Hear what I
Pusha
just
gets
said?
on that shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything I dream, motherfucker, I'm watching it take shape. While to you, I'm just a young rich nigga that lacks faith. Range Rove, leather roof, love war, fuck a truce. Still lay a bed, still lay an egg like I'm in bed with Mother Goose. I was like, good night. I was like, somebody cut this nigga off. He on fire.
Right.
Somebody cut this nigga off. NBA Jam. He must know Hove just came on. He must have heard Hove verse. Like he must have heard Jay and Jay verse, and it's like, yo, he was like, oh, it's game time. You put me in the game. Yeah. Let's go. Because ain't nobody showed up like that on a record where Kanye and Jay came first.
Yo, find me 4 more Pusha T verses better than that one. You said top 5.
No. I'll tell you my favorite part. I keep the city's best. Never said she was the brightest. So if you had a 2, it don't affect me in the slightest. I never met a bitch that didn't need a little guidance. So I dismiss her past until she disappoints your highness. I'm like, oh. I was like, so we're on the pimp talk on this verse now too. It's like, so we're doing player talk.
He did everything on there.
He did everything on there. There's dope boy talk. There's like drug dealer anonymous talk on there. There's player talk on there. There's unsuccessful rapper talk on there.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, the fact that Kanye made College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808s and Heartbreaks, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in a 6-year window is one of the greatest achievements in hip-hop history. I'm with that. Not to mention he made B in that window as well. And Finding Forever.
And Finding Forever, because we're about to talk about Finding Forever in a minute, because here's why I wanted to go with Common last. You see how we were on that 5th Kanye album?
Or how we were on that 4th and 5th Eminem album. And T.I. album.
And that T.I. album.
5 is hard.
Well, let me tell you something. For as much as, and this is why I want Common to go last, because here's my hot take. Common's catalog's better than Ye's. And it's mostly because of Ye. Ye helped close Common's deal.
Yeah.
Common's got a top 5-ish catalog. Finding Forever is a classic rap album. Finding Forever is a classic.
Inspector says LWFC and Late Registration are the most masterful hip-hop albums. Let's see. Andrew, hold on. I got another super chat here. Andrew with the super chat says, my top 5, I think he says Ye albums in no order: Yeezus, 808s and Heartbreaks, Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Pablo. Been watching y'all for a while. As a 22-year-old, I really enjoy y'all content. Really appreciate y'all. Much love, many blessings. Appreciate that, Andrew. We appreciate you. And again, I think it's very interesting that the younger audience doesn't name the College Dropout. It was one of those albums where you had to be there.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Jesus is held high. I think that it's one of those things, like when I was younger, I would listen to the Beatles and I would hear everything people said about the Beatles and be like, man, this shit ain't that great. But it's one of those things where you had to be there. I think that College Dropout has become one of those albums because Kanye has taken his sound so many places and so far and meant so many things to so many different generations. You had to be there for that first one to understand it or hold it high. I don't want to say understand it, but to hold it high. Because I think that the lack of technical excellence is why it's not held with those other ones. Some of the things that you were speaking about, because clearly he's the least experienced artist on that album. Even on albums like Yeezus, even if it sonically doesn't line up, he's more comfortable because he's a seasoned artist at this point. Ethan Hill with the super chat says MGK EP flopped after Rap Devil. Stop it. You're still on that one, Ethan. We're on to something else, man.
We let it go.
Yeah, we let it go. I got another super chat I want to get to. I think you were about to say something. Jay Short says, So Appalled was the last great posse cut. I can't think of one more recent. I would say maybe 6 Train. Was that 6 Train? Yeah. ASAP Rocky, where he had Kendrick on there, had Joey on there. Big Crit closed it out. I think Yellow Wolf was on there. Who am I missing, guys? Oh, was it Action Bronson?
Was it? I
Anyway.
mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a clear cut answer. My memory's not like firing on that record, just to be honest with you.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
joking. I'm not even being shady. Like, it's really not. If I was recalling like offhand, I would.